the home with the most historical significance.
But now I'm going to show you her final resting place that you don't usually hear about. This was the original headstone. This is the actual bus. Exact seat. This is it.
(1955) on a bus, Montgomery, Alabama.
Rosa, along with 3 other black passengers, were told to give up their seats to a white male passenger. She refused and was arrested.
Well, I was arrested on December 1st, 1955 for refusing to stand up on the orders of the bus driver after the white seats had been occupied in the front.
Alrighty guys, we have to start today's Rosa Parks video right here in this corner house right in front of me. See, this is 3201 Virginia Park and we're on the west side of Detroit. Now, Rosa Parks lived in a number of places before this and 2 after. But when it comes to Detroit, this is the home with the most historical significance. See, after the Montgomery Bus boycott in '55, she moved to the city of Detroit in 1957, where her brother Sylvester was living. Now, she lived in a string of homes from '58 to '61, but she moved here into this 2-family flat in 1961. And so much history happened when she lived here. She worked for Congressman John Conyers when she lived here. It was in this house that she became an activist for fair housing in Detroit. It was in this house that she became friends with Malcolm X. It was in this house that she joined the People's Tribunal. It was in this house that Rosa Parks supported the Republic of New Africa after the police raid at the RNA's anniversary conference, the New Bethel Baptist Church. That was the church that the Detroit iconic singer Aretha Franklin grew up in, and I did a separate vlog on Aretha Franklin. Now, it was in this house that she supported the League of Revolutionary Black Workers, the RNA, the Free Angela Davis movement. And it was in this house that Rosa Parks was a part of the Black Power movement. But it was also in this house that her husband died in 1977, only a few months before her brother Sylvester passed away. And while living in this house and working for John Conyers, her mother died in a nursing home in 1979. See, this house definitely has the most significance. It is not owned by the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute. That is on 9336 Wildmere. That's the home where she was assaulted. And it's not owned by the McCauley family, and it's not owned by a European artist. That is the home she visited her brother in Southwest Detroit. It's not any of those houses. But this is the house with all the history. Now, let's head over to the cemetery, where I want to show you not only Rosa Parks' final resting place, but also the headstone of where Rosa Parks was initially going to be buried. Let's go.
At the Woodlawn Cemetery, Rosa Parks. Now, we all know the bus incident and what she meant to the whole civil rights movement. But now I'm going to show you her final resting place here in Detroit. Let's take a look. Rosa L. Parks, 1913 to 2005, mother of the modern-day civil rights movement. Raymond A. Parks passed away in 1977. They're buried right there, Rosa Parks, Woodlawn Cemetery, Detroit. Now I'll show you the chapel that she's in. It's so peaceful and serene in here. Rosa L. Parks.
Alrighty guys, let's go outside and see something that not too many people come to visit. Her original headstone where she was originally intended to be buried.
Alrighty guys, now I've showed you Rosa Parks' final resting place with her husband in the Rosa Parks Chapel, but I want to show you something in Woodlawn that you don't usually hear about. This was the original headstone of where Rosa Parks was to be buried, beside her husband and her mother. Let's check it out. Mother, Leona McCauley, 1979. Wife, Rosa L. Parks, 1913 to no end date, because she was alive when this was put in, and Raymond A. Parks to 1977. This was to be Rosa Parks' original resting place, beside her mother and her husband, wife Rosa L. Parks, 1913 to no date. This is it right here. This was to be Rosa Parks' final resting place here at Woodlawn. Now, when she passed away, she is interred in the Rosa Parks Chapel, but this was the original headstone of Rosa Parks that you don't really hear about, but it's right here at Woodlawn. Alrighty guys, I'm glad I got to show you something a little bit different. I've showed you Rosa Parks' final resting place, but this is what was to be Rosa Parks' final resting place. Her husband, her mother, were buried right here, and this was put in before she passed away while she was alive. Now that changed after she passed away, but this is the original headstone of Rosa Parks at Woodlawn, and I just came across it. So I wanted to share it with you. I want to show you the actual bus that Rosa Parks started the movement, wouldn't give up her seat, and thankfully became the face of the civil rights movement and really changed the history of America after that. I want to show you the bus today. Let's go check it out. Alrighty, there is the bus that Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on. There it is.
Seat to a white person while sitting in a segregated seating area. The arrest kick-started the civil rights movement of the 1950s and inspired the 13-month Montgomery Bus boycott. Today, city transit systems across the nation are remembering her by setting aside an empty seat in her honor.
She became the face of the civil rights movement.
How did restore Eden's last breath?
And we all know what her not giving up the seat turned into. That Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. The Montgomery bus boycott. No law angered Montgomery's African Americans on a daily basis as much as bus segregation. When Rosa Parks was arrested, they had had enough. They shared rides, they walked, anything, but they did not ride the buses. Despite white threats and violence, this boycott lasted for more than a year until the law finally changed. Her not giving up that seat on the bus caused the Montgomery bus boycott and really changed the civil rights movement in the States. And this is the bus. Let's go get on.
1955. So we're 50 years ago.
Alrighty, I'm sitting in the exact seat. This is it. This is the seat on the bus that Rosa Parks was sitting in when she wouldn't give up her seat, causing the Montgomery bus boycott, everything else that came. So we saw her final resting place, we saw her house in Detroit, and we saw her original headstone. But this is the seat on the bus where she was sitting. Very, very cool to be here. Very neat to see this.
Yeah, this is the original bus too.
It's incredible. Right here. There it is. It's that seat right there. The second seat back, that is the seat that Rosa Parks refused to give up, that set everything in motion and made her the face of civil rights as we know it.
Home December 1st, 1955, about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I boarded the bus downtown Montgomery on Coates Square. As the bus proceeded out of town, on the third stop, the white passengers had filled the front of the bus. When I got on the bus, the rear was filled with colored passengers, and they were beginning to stand. The seat I occupied was the face of the seats where the Negro passengers take as they on this route. The driver noted that the front of the bus was filled with white passengers, and there would be 2 or 3 men standing. He looked back and asked that the seat where I had taken, along with 3 other persons, one in the seat with me and 2 across the aisle, was seated. He demanded the seat that we were occupying. The other passengers very reluctantly gave up their seats, but I refused to do so.